Well, it's just good news all around, isn't it? So, yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the future of Hamas, uh, what it looks like to me, using heart centered remote viewing, where you put yourself in an alpha state and you try to look at things objectively. You stand back, you look at the globe objectively, you try to put yourself in the shoes of as many players as possible, which is a type of game theory that we do here. It's something that mentalists do. And we try to enter into the rabbit hole of imagination where the matrix splits and we have magical things happen. So that's what this channel is about. A little bit of science, a little bit of magic. Hamas is finished. Yeah. Hamas is finished. Um, it's enjoying popularity right now, but everything put together falls apart sooner or later, and everything that rises falls. And I want people to think about the stages of grief. And if you're looking at the writings of Kathleen Kubler-Ross and other people that have studied the death process, it starts with denial. And part of that denial process is a feeling sometimes that you are omnipotent, that you have supernatural powers, that you're going to beat this diagnosis, right? So what we have right now is the first stages of death of Hamas, where they begin to believe that they have, well, they always did, but more so now, supernatural powers, that something miraculous is happening here, rather than the obvious that they are finished in Gaza and probably finished internationally because their money is being seized internationally. So they've got no money, and their leadership is being dismantled. Their actions on October 7th were so heinous. And the worst part of all was that they filmed themselves raping and decapitated women, chopping off people's whatevers. And so one of the things you also learn when you look at pure science, pure data, is that a lot of people will dismiss data because it's unpleasant or it doesn't meet with what they want the outcome to be. And this is why we're seeing so much denial about what took place on October 7th globally, because people don't want to look at things that are that evil, and so they dismiss it. But the problem when you dismiss something that horrible is that you're going to calculate your data wrong. So you're going to come up with irrational reasons why Israel went into Gaza. You're not going to be able to look objectively at what took place on October 7th because it's too horrible to look at. And so you will come up with another conclusion that is based on faulty data, which is why computers can be good, because a computer can look at everything, including the most horrible facts, and give you objective data or pure science. So 1,200 tunnels discovered, many now being destroyed underwater. Entire country has been wiped off the map, right? 40,000 Hamas fighters supposedly prior to the war, thousands arrested, thousands fleeing to host countries like Turkey and Algeria, Qatar, etc. And now you have countries like Qatar slamming the door on them. And the reason why is because the people in positions of power, the people that wheel and deal, that do business globally, the truth be told, they have to be neutral. Good businessmen and women try to be as neutral as possible because they've got business all over the world, the billionaires and trillionaires of the world, right? So they try their ambassadors because they have a financial interest in everybody getting along because they're buying and selling from everybody, right? They're getting chips from China, they're getting metal from Russia, they're selling to Americans. So it's not that they're picking sides, it's that they cannot pick any sides. They have to remain neutral in order for their business to run and for us to get our iPhones. The problem with that also is that that is not a pure democracy, is it? Because all of a sudden somebody is in a position of power because of their financial situation to wield and deal for the United States, for NATO, for Russia, etc. And that's a problem, and it's not certainly not a pure democracy, right? So people are in denial about what happened on October 7th. People don't want to. They've dismissed it because they don't want to take it in, right? That's why you have Holocaust deniers. But the people in positions of power, they've seen it. The imams, 100 Muslim Druze scholars attending a screening of everything that took place on October 7th. So now Islamic leadership is starting to see everything. And the faces of Islamic and Druze leadership, the crying, my God, this is not our religion, right? So you have what's called a ripple effect. And you have what's called a tipping point. These are things mathematics look at, statistics look at. So first you have denial, and then you're going to have anger, right? As more and more people have to come to terms with what was done, what Hamas did on October 17th. And it also means that the people that once gave financial support no longer want anything to do with this organization, and they have been shunned. Because now the entire world thinks, so this is how the Palestinian movement is, this is how Muslim people are, you go around raping children, It has done so much damage for the cause. If you're somebody who loves your religion, Islam, and you grew up with this unbelievably positive experience of going to the mosque with your family and getting candy on certain holidays, you have this beautiful experience, and then you watch some film footage like that, it's just, what the heck is this, right? Drugged out people engaged in violent behavior. So you have denial. Then you have anger, where people try to defend it, right? So now we're seeing a lot of anger. Well, it's the fault of the Jews, right? This crazy kind of rationale. Then what comes after that usually is fear. A lot of the times you'll start to see fear. People become frightened that you have denial, denial, anger, fear, and I think then depression, right? You have to go through a period of depression and then eventually acceptance. And so I think that's where we're headed. So Hamas is finished. It's no longer going to be, I think, Islamic leadership globally will see the film footage. and will be so disgusted by it that they've already started to renounce it. But more as more film footage comes out, and more as the general public starts to see it. So they will become the pariah of the Muslim world. And the other reason for that is the Abraham Accords, because Israel is starting to become very open economically to the Arab world. And there are doors and opportunities opening also for Palestinians once Hamas is gone. Residency, permanent employment, more open border with people that are law-abiding citizens. They can come and maybe do an OASIS program or get a new status on their, So despite everything that looks horrible right now, the direction is unity and more inclusiveness for everybody, because there's this understanding that when you have so much and the person next to you has so little, the envy and resentment will grow. And so there are things that we can do as a community on both sides to alleviate the suffering. But in terms of Hamas, I think as more and more people in the community, regular people, see what happened, we will start to see their popularity decline. I'm going to go ahead with this type of exponential growth. I'm going to say probably in the next no more than 2 to 3 weeks. All right, unless TikTok is able to, TikTok is so strong that the only way it might mess with the equation, but let's see what happens, because you have to take into consideration TikTok. But yeah, I'm thinking in a couple of weeks you could see major changes. All right, thanks everyone. Be well, and I'll see you next time.